One afternoon, a woman that I had never heard of destroyed 70 years of bad information in less than 10 minutes. Her name is Barbara O'Neill, and my life has never been the same since. Now, stay with me because what she showed me in those first 10 minutes, it's the exact opposite of everything that you've been told. And once you hear it, you won't be able to unhear it either. Hi, I'm Steve, and welcome to another Down Home Clean Carnivore video. At the time, I weighed 256 pounds. I was pre-diabetic, and I was dealing with brain fog, inflammation, and depression. And the strange thing was, I was following the advice that sounded perfectly reasonable. And you've heard it too. Eat less, move more. Calories in, calories out. Count your calories. You just need willpower. Push away from the table. Everything in moderation. I wasn't ignoring that advice. I was following it for decades. And yet there I was, 256 pounds. Listen, if a map keeps getting you lost, at what point do you stop blaming yourself and start questioning the map? What do? Stop following the map. And that's where I found myself, tired of believing that the next diet was finally going to be the one that worked. And then came that Tuesday afternoon. I was watching a political video, minding my own business, and then another clip appeared, one talking about weight loss and diabetes. And here's the part that nobody had ever told me. Not one doctor, not one diet book. In just under an hour, she explained the human body has two fuel systems. One runs on glucose and the other runs on fat. It sounded drop dead simple. And that's exactly the point. It was simple. So simple that I understood it immediately. And once I understood it, I couldn't unsee it or unknow it. For the first time in my life, weight gain wasn't a character flaw. I wasn't lazy or undisciplined. It wasn't because I needed more willpower. I had been trying to solve the wrong problem. And suddenly, 70 years of frustration started to make sense. I was looking for the truth. But understanding something and acting on it, those are two different things. And what I did that afternoon, most people would call crazy. I call it planting my flag. The next day was trash day. And I remember because I walked into the pantry and I started filling the bin. At the time, I was a baker and not just someone who liked bread. I baked sourdough artisan loaves with carved crusts and well-defined ears that crackled when they came out of a hot oven. I was baking 4 loaves a day and giving away 3, keeping 1 for myself. Today that makes me shudder. But on that Tuesday afternoon, I started throwing things away. Bread flour, white flour, whole wheat flour, rye flour, triticale, rice, white rice, brown rice, red rice, black rice, pasta of all shapes and colors, seed oils, snacks, anything that looked like it had been designed to keep me eating. Not next week, not after more research, and not after I'd thought about it, but that day I planted my flag. Now here's where it stopped being curiosity and turned into something else, something fierce. Because one book took everything that Barbara had started and it lit it on fire. Understanding and conviction are not the same thing. So I ordered a book she recommended, a copy of Wheat Belly by William Davis, Dr. William Davis. Barbara O'Neill had opened my eyes, but Dr. William Davis put fire in my belly. I was going to war. The more I read, the more my resolve hardened. I resolved to right the wrong. I had spent decades blaming myself for a problem I hadn't created alone. I had followed the people who supposedly knew better. For 70 years, I trusted their advice. Then I looked at the results. They weren't carrying 256 pounds. I was. So let me put it to you plain. Ask yourself these 4 questions right now, because they're the same ones that have finally woke me up. The advice sounded good and reasonable, but it was wrong. Wrong because it didn't work. If the advice worked, why was I still overweight? If the advice worked, why was I pre-diabetic? If the advice worked, why was I struggling with brain fog and depression? If the advice worked, why was I 256 pounds? As it turned out, the advice was exact opposite of the truth, and that was my life. And by the time I finished Wheat Belly, I was no longer looking for another diet. Now, here's the part that I didn't see coming. I went chasing one thing. What I walked away with was something I never even thought to ask for. At first, I was only interested in weight loss. At 256 pounds, weight loss had my full attention, and weight did begin to come off. But something else happened. The food monkey got quieter. The cravings began to disappear. My energy improved. The brain fog lifted. The depression left. My blood sugar moved in the right direction. And I thought I was fixing my weight. And what I was really doing was healing. I came to low carb hoping to lose weight. I stayed because of the freedom from constant cravings, the freedom from food controlling my thoughts, the freedom of finally understanding what my body needed. So let me bring you back to that Tuesday afternoon, because everything I do today traces back to those 10 minutes and a book. One Tuesday afternoon, a woman I'd never heard of destroyed 70 years of bad information in less than 10 minutes. Her name, Barbara O'Neill. Dr. William Davis put fire in my belly, and together they helped me discover something that changed my life forever. The advice I had heard sounded good, but it was wrong. And once I saw the truth, I could never look back. If this message resonated with you, hit the like button and subscribe so that you don't miss the next story. This is more than weight loss. We're breaking the chains. It's all about freedom.